This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Jack Threads. Dallas Wiens had fourth-degree burns on his face after his head came into contact with a high-voltage power line. And because of that, his entire face was just burned off.
Wow.
Okay, and he is now the first man in the United States to get a full face transplant. This morning, he made a public announcement about it. He came out, spoke to the press, and he also spoke to ABC's Good Morning America. We have a video of that. Let's watch.
Dallas Wiens, here at just 23, is a loving father to his only daughter, Scarlett. 2.5 years ago, a horrible electrical accident left Dallas blind and literally faceless. All that remained was scar tissue and some of his chin. In March, a team of 30 doctors and nurses performed an elaborate, life-changing procedure, transplanting the entire face of an anonymous donor, including muscles, nerves, and a piece of nasal bone. The historic surgery took 17 hours.
It's so profound to see someone who had no face, and suddenly there's this new person.
Dallas and his doctors gave GMA an exclusive look at the first full face transplant in the U.S. But he's not interested in the history books. For Dallas, there was only one motivation.
I could have lived like I was, no problem.
You could have lived without a face?
Yeah, if I did not have my daughter.
In the days after surgery, the little things we all take for granted are huge milestones. Blowing his nose, his first sneeze in 2 years.
What was the first smell you smelled after surgery?
I woke up and I ate hospital lasagna that evening, and I was like, that was the first thing I could smell.
As time goes on, his speech will get better, but he's still blind. A life-shattering prospect for most, but not Dallas.
I would not change the thing.
You wouldn't go back and take it back?
No.
Why?
Too many good things will happen from it. My family is closer now. I'm a way better person now. I'm even a better father.
How do you feel now you're about to be reunited for the first time with your new face? What's going through your mind?
I just want to hold her. It's been so long.
A father-daughter reunion tinged with undying gratitude for the man whose face he now bears.
And the donor's family? What would you say to them?
What they did has given me a new life. It's given my daughter a new life.
For Good Morning America, Juju Chang, ABC News, Boston.
Well, you know, he says he'd do it again, which is amazing, right? I think a lot of people are thinking, don't do it, right? But what I got out of that is that don't wait for your face to get burned off before you become a better person. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying? I've seen so many stories where guys or girls come out like after this tragic accident and they say, well, now I appreciate life, so I'm actually better off, right? Mm-hmm. Can we skip the first part and just appreciate life?
You make a really good point, Jake, but I think that when you're not struck by tragedy, it's very easy to take, you know, the tiny pleasures of life for granted. And I notice that I do it all the time. All of us are guilty of doing it. And sometimes it takes a tragedy to bring people closer together. I mean, one of the things that made our country stronger, in my opinion, was, you know, the attacks on 9/11. That was a hideous thing that happened to our country. But our country came together. And, you know...
And we went shopping. Thanks to President Bush. That's what he encouraged us to do. Now, I know what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And look, of course, tragedy brings us together in a lot of ways. And that's normal and that's natural. But, you know... We've covered stories and studies where they show the key to happiness is appreciation. Right. Like that's the number one thing. Like if you appreciate things in your life, you're a much happier and more fulfilled person. And anybody who watches that, just please, I mean, I don't know, I know this is crazy, but assume your face got burned off, okay? And then go, oh my God, I can taste, I can see. I know that people are gonna think that's absurd, but I'm crazy enough that I do that. Like, not that my face got burned off, but like someday I'll be walking and I'll be tired and I'll think, well, thank God I can walk, right? Mm-hmm. You might find that goofy and incredibly corny, and I hear you if you do, right? But look, it does make you a happier person, and people who go through these tragedies a lot of times wind up in a situation like that. Jack Threads is a new sponsor for TYT. They're a members-only online shopping club, but because you know us, you're going to get in. Aren't we cool? But here's the key part to it, 80% off. Hello, up to 80% off of some of the top apparel lines in the country. Game over.
Right.
So go to jackthreads.com/TYT because it's free to join, and you get all those discounts, and you avoid the pain in the ass. The ending of this commercial is a little schwang wang wang.